Hey, what is going on, everybody? Today I want to talk about putting your address on your LLC or corporate records with the Secretary of State. Oftentimes, business owners are a little hesitant and have questions about what address they should use when forming their business. So to give you a little background, when you are forming a corporation or an LLC, you need to make a registration with your state's Secretary of State, and among the information that is requested is typically a business address or a resident agent address. So in the state of Michigan, you have to put a resident agent and a address and a name on your articles of organization or articles of incorporation. And there is some hesitation about putting people's name and address on there because it is going to be publicly searchable online pretty much forever. So there are some options to take you outside of having to put your name and address, and one way to do that is by hiring a third-party corporate company to serve as your resident agent. So instead of putting your name and your home address on the registration that is going to be publicly searchable, you can hire a third-party company, and in the event that you are served with a legal notice to that company or to that address, that company will notify you that, hey, we received this on your behalf. You need to take a look at it, and typically there's like an online portal where you log in. They have downloaded and scanned that information for you, or I'm sure you can set it up where they forward you the physical mail that they received. So that's a way to avoid having to put your name and address on your LLC's registration with the Secretary of State. Now, for some clients, it doesn't really matter whether or not you put your address or your company's address. Specifically for companies that are service provided businesses. So if you're in the business of being a service provider and you have a brand that you're building for yourself using your own name, then anyone you really do business with is going to know your name anyways. And if they use Google semi-proficiently, I'm sure they could Google your name and find your home address that way. So you're not really protecting yourself if you are a service provider and you're also entering into relationships, with people one-to-one using your individual name, because they're probably going to be able to find you anyways. But for online businesses or businesses where the individual like yourself isn't going to be one-to-one dealing with clients or customers, and they may not know your name anyways, then yeah, privacy by hiring a third-party company could be very helpful in your situation. But in other situations, it may not help. Now, another thing I want to mention that is very confusing to people is that they believe the resident agent somehow listed on the company records means that that person is the owner of the company or the manager of the company. That is not the case. Your resident agent listed on your corporate paperwork is just an individual over the age of 18 that lives in the state that can be served with legal paperwork in the event of a lawsuit or other legal notices. So if someone wants to sue your business, they're going to look you up on the state's website, and they're going to look for your resident agent, and they're going to serve them with that paperwork, with that legal notice. That way they have fulfilled their obligations to move forward with whatever they're trying to do legally, because they found the resident agent at that address, and that's all they needed to do to get sufficient legal notice out. So the resident agent isn't necessarily going to be the owner of the company or the manager of a company, and that's exactly why you're able to put in a third-party company. Thank you, I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you next time.